ओम अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वरूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगन्धगुणात्वितं तं सजीवं साधुवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सहगणललिता शिवशाखावितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपेकांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपेकांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय प्रभुपाद। जय प्रभुपाद। स्क्रीन विजिबल है प्रभु जी?
हाँ दिख रहा है।
यस, यहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है प्रभु जी।
ओके, हरे कृष्ण। Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a great discussion with Sambhav Bhattacharya, the greatest logician of all time, who was also Mayavadi in first place, and he was also converted. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is not mere sentimentalism. There is a very rich background if one wants to understand the Sankirtan movement through philosophy and logic. There is an ample opportunity, for this movement is based on science and on the authority of the Vedas, but it is all simplified. That is the beauty of this movement. Whether one is a great scholar or philosopher or a child, he can take part without any difficulty. Our systems of realization, the Gyan process or yoga process are also recognized, but it is not possible to practice them in this age. That is the verdict of the Vedas. Kirte yadhyayato vishnam tretayam yajato makhay dwapare paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter, 52 sloka. In the Satya Yuga, the golden age, it was possible to execute the meditation process. For instance, Valmiki Muni meditated for 60,000 years to get perfection. But where is our old age? Besides that, for the meditation process as described in Bhagavad Gita, one has to select a secluded place. He has to execute it alone. He has to sit down in a rigid posture. He has to lead a life of complete celibacy and so on. There are many rules and regulations. Thus, Ashtanga Yoga meditation is not possible if one is satisfied by imitating. That is a different thing. But if one wants perfection, then he has to execute all the 8 stages of Ashtanga Yoga. If this is not possible, then it is a waste of time.
Yes, issue prove.
What is the ultimate goal of the yoga process what is the ultimate goal of the yoga process or meditation? Contact with Supreme, the Super Soul, the Supreme Lord, is the aim and the object of all yoga processes. Similarly, philosophical research, the Jnana process, also aims to understanding the Supreme Brahman. These are recognized processed undoubtedly, but according to authoritative description, they are not practical in this iron age of Kali. Therefore, one has to take this process of Hari Kirtan. Anyone can practice without pre-qualification. One doesn't have to study philosophy or Vedanta. This was the purport of Lord Chaitanya meeting with Prakasan Saraswati. Hare Krishna.
कृष्ण। स्वाति माता जी। स्वाति माता जी। अनुष्का माता जी.
Hare Krishna. When the Vedanta philosophy was thoroughly discussed between Lord Chaitanya and Prakashananda Nanda Saraswati, Prakash Nanda Saraswati first of all asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I understand that you were a very good scholar in your early life. Lord Chaitanya was actually a very great scholar. His name was Nimai Pandita. And at the age of 16, he defeated a great scholar from Kashmir, Keshava Kashmiri. And I understand that you are a great Sanskrit scholar, and that especially in logic, you are a very learned scholar. You were also born in a Brahmana family, and now you are a sannyasi. How is it that you are chanting and dancing and not reading the Vedanta? This was the first question asked by the Prakash Nanda Saraswati, and Lord Chaitanya replied, yes, the reason is that when I was initiated by my spiritual master, he said that I am fool number one. You don't discuss the Vedanta, he told me. You will simply spoil your time. Just take to this chanting of Hare Krishna and you will be successful. That was his reply. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not a fool, and certainly the Vedanta is not for fools. One needs sufficient education and one must attain a certain status before he can understand the Vedanta. In each and every word, there are volumes of meanings, and there are many commentaries by Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya. Huge, huge volumes in Sanskrit. But how can we understand Vedanta? It is not possible. It may be possible for one person or two persons to understand, but for a mass of people, it is not possible. Nor is it possible to practice yoga. Therefore, if one takes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's method, chanting Hare Krishna, the first installment of gain will be Seto Darpana Marjanam. All the dirty things will be cleansed from the heart simply by chanting. Chant. There is no expenditure and there is no loss. If one simply chants for 1 week, he will see how much he will progress in spiritual knowledge.
Swati माता जी.
Hare Krishna. We are attracting many students simply by chanting, and they are understanding the entire philosophy and becoming purified. This society's movement started only 4 years ago in 1966, and we have so many branches already. The American boys and girls are taking it very seriously and they are happy. Ask one of them, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. They are cleansing the dirty things from the heart simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Kanak.
Hare Krishna. The next point is Bhav Madhavani Nirvapanam. As soon as the heart is cleansed of all dirty things, then all the problems of material existence are immediately solved. This word has been compared to Davagani, which means a blazing fire in the forest. In this material existence, no one wants unhappiness, but it comes by force. That is the law of material nature. No one wants fire, but wherever we go in a city, the fire brigade is always active. There is always fire. Similarly, there are many things that no one wants. No one wants death, there is death. No one wants disease, there is disease. No one wants old age, there is old age. They are there against our will, against our desire.
Thus, yes, प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी आपकी आवाज बहुत लो आ रही है.
अभी ठीक आ रही है क्या?
हाँ जी प्रभु जी, बेटर है पहले से.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है दावा अग्नि वाला. जैसे अग्नि जलती रहती है और हम लोग अगर किसी को डाल देते हैं चिल्लाता रहता है ना वो. वैसे ही हम लोगों की सिचुएशन है इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में. चलते कूदते ही रहते हैं हम लोग. ये गया, ये मरा, ये चला, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. करेक्ट?
यस प्रभु जी.
दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दावा अग्नि इसलिए हम मॉर्निंग में डालते हैं संसार धावा नल लीड लोक का जो
Hmm.
संसार है हवा अग्नि की तरह जल रहा है। ठीक है आगे।
So, thus, we should consider the state of this material existence. This human form of life is meant for understanding, not for wasting valuable life like animals by eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That is not advancement of civilization. The Bhagavatam says that this body is not meant for working hard simply for sense gratification. Nayam deho deha bhajam narloke kashtan kaman arhayate vid bhujam ye. To work very hard and satisfy oneself by sense gratification is the business of hogs and not human beings. The human being should learn tapasya, especially in India. So many great sages, so many great kings, and so many brahmacharis and sannyasis have passed their lives in great tapasya in order not to get further to sleep. Lord Buddha was a prince who gave up everything and engaged himself in tapasya. This is life. When King Bharata, under whose name India was named Bharatvarsh, was 24 years old. He gave up his kingdom, his young wife, and young children and went away for tapasya. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was only 24, he gave up his young wife, mother, everything. There are many, many examples. India is the land of tapasya, but we are forgetting that. Now we are making it the land of technology. It is surprising that India is now no longer propagating this tapasya. For India, is the land of Dharma. Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Yes, His Grace.
Yeah, but it is not only in India. Everywhere in this age of iron, everything is degraded. Degraded in this verse. Prayin payushaha sabhya kalav asmin yuge jana. Bhagavatam first canto, first chapter, 10 shloka. In this age of Kali, the duration of life is diminished, and men are not moved to understand self-realization. And if they are invariably misled by so many deceitful leaders. The age is very corrupt. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's process of chanting Hare Krishna is the best and simplest method. Hare Ranam, Hare Ram, Hare Ranam eva kevalam, kalau naste vigatir anyatha. In this age of Kali, there is no other religion than glorifying the Lord by utterance of his holy name. And that is the injunction of all the revealed scriptures. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. This verse appears in Brahmanadya Puran. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam. Simply chant Hare Krishna. There is no other alternative. Kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva. तो 3 बार नास्ते में यहाँ नास्ते करके यहाँ पे आया कि मतलब इसके अलावा और कोई तरीका नहीं है, नहीं है, नहीं. In this age Kali, there is no other alternative for self-realization, so we have to accept it. कितना important है, कितना emphasis करके बताया गया है, नास्ते नास्ते नास्ते, नहीं है, नहीं है, नहीं है. और ऐसे ही जब जो चीज है उसको भी तीनों बोलेगा, हरे नाम नाम, हरे नाम, हरे नाम, हरे नाम. मतलब इसके अलावा कोई नहीं है, नहीं है, नहीं, मतलब मान जाओ इसके अलावा नहीं है.
इम्पोर्टेंस है, मतलब क्लियर बोल रहे हैं, फोकस कर रहे हैं बहुत ज्यादा इसमें.
Okay, let's proceed.
Yes. Issue proof.
There is another simple verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 12th canto, 3rd chapter, Parikshit Maharaj was informed by Sukdev Goswami of the fault of this age. And now all the symptoms are apparent. In the conclusive portion, however, Sukdev Goswami said, Kaler dosha nide rajan asti he eko mahan guna. My dear king, this age Kali is full of faulty things. But there is one good opportunity. What is that? Kirtanand ev Krishnaya Muktya Sangha Param Varjate. Simply by chanting this Hari Nam Mahamantra, one can become liberated and go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anushka Mataji.
This is practical and authorized, and one can also test himself to see how he is advancing simply by chanting. This Krishna conscious movement is not something new, something that we have introduced or manufactured. It is authorized on the Vedic principles, authorized by the acharyas like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and others. And the method is very simple, there is no loss. We are not charging anything, we are not asking for fees and giving the people some secret mantra and promising them that within 6 months they will become God. No, this is open for everyone. Children, women, girls, boys, old people, everyone can chant and see the results.
Swati Mataji.
To further this end, we not only are establishing new Vrindavan, our farm project in West Virginia, but are establishing other spiritual communities such as New Navdweep and New Jagannath Puri. We have already started New Jagannath Puri in San Francisco, and the Rath Yatra festival is going on. This year, there will be a great ceremony of Rath Yatra in London also. There will be 3 cars for Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balram, and they will be taken to the river Thames. And America has imported New England and New York. So why not New Vrindavan? We should especially establish this New Vrindavan because Lord Chaitanya recommended Aradhyo Bhagwan Vrajesa Tanyas. दिख नहीं रहा प्रभु जी, आपने स्क्रॉल किया है तो
हाँ जी, स्क्रॉल तो कर रखा है माता जी.
अब आ गया. Tad Dhama Vrindavanam. Krishna, the son of Nand Maharaj in the Vrindavan Dham of Brajabhumi, is the supreme worshipable deity, and his place Vrindavan is also worshipable. The Western boys and girls are taking to Krishna consciousness, and they should have a place like Vrindavan. Swami Kirtananand, who went to Vrindavan with me 2 years ago, knows that Vrindavan is like. So I have instructed him to construct at least 7 temples. In Vrindavan, there are 5,000 temples of Radha Krishna, but the most important temples are 7, established by the Goswamis. Our program is to live in New Vrindavan, depend on agriculture and cows as an economic solution, and peacefully execute Krishna consciousness. Chant Hare Krishna, that is the Vrindavan scheme. Yuktahara Viharasya Yogo Bhavati Dukha Ha. Bhagavad Gita 6.17. This human form of life is not meant for increasing artificial needs. We should be satisfied just to maintain the body and soul together. And the rest of the time, we should enhance our Krishna consciousness so that after leaving this body, we will not have to take another material body, but will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. That should be the motto of human life.
Correct.
Material life means eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and spiritual life means something more than this. This is also the difference between animal life and human life. In animal life, the common formula is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. A dog eats, a man also eats, a man sleeps, and a dog also sleeps. A man has sex life, and the dog also has sex life. The dog defends in his own way, and man also defends in his own way, maybe by atomic bombs. These 4 principles are common to human beings and animals. An advancement of these 4 principles is not human civilization, but animal civilization. Human civilization means Ataho Brahma Jigyasana. In the Vedanta Sutra, the first aphorism is Atahoto Brahma Jigyasana. Now is the time for inquiry about Brahman. That is human life, as long as one is not spiritually inquisitive. Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. He is an animal because he lives according to these 4 principles. That's all. He must be inquisitive to know what he is and why he is put into these miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Is there any remedy? These matters should be questioned. That is human life. That is spiritual life.
Spiritual life means human life, and material life means animal life. That's all. We have to make the adjustment that are recommended in Bhagavad Gita. Yuktahara viharasya, for instance, because I'm going to be a spiritual man does not mean that I shall give up eating. Rather, my eating should be adjusted. The Bhagavad Gita describes what class of food is first class in goodness and what class of food is in passion and third class in ignorance. We have to raise ourselves to the sattvic goodness platform of human civilization. Then revive our transcendental consciousness or Krishna consciousness. Everything is there in the Shastras. Unfortunately, we do not consult them. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Unless Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam 1.2.20, unless one is liberated from the clutches of these three modes of material nature, he cannot understand God. Prasanna Mansaha, one must be Brahman realized soul. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, slok 54. These injunctions are there. So one should take advantage of these shastras and preach. That is a responsibility of intelligent men. The mass of people know that God is great, but they do not know how great God actually is. We will find in the Vedic literature. That is our duty in the Iron Age. That is Hari Kartana, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, glorification of the Supreme.
तीन
Yes.
पैसेज में लगातार मुझे एक बात तो समझ में आई है कि प्रभुपाद बोल रहे हैं कि मटेरियल, जैसे प्रभुपाद न्यू वृंदावन का एग्जांपल दिए हैं, प्रभुपाद कह रहे हैं कि वी शुड लिव अ पीसफुल लाइफ, है ना, कि भाई
Yes.
ज्यादा मत भागो, उधर अपने लिए जो है फसल वगैरह जो भी है वो खाओ और चैंट हरे कृष्णा, दैट इज वन. और सेकंड पॉइंट जो अभी प्रभुपाद ने रिसेंटली बोला है कि द इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन will take the responsibility to preach the message of Bhagavad Gita to general people. So these 2 points are very important for all of us also, that we should not increase our material responsibilities, and at the same time we should involve in preaching also. Correct?
Yes, Guruji.
Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Okay, let's proceed.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, Guruji.
Meditation and the self within. Can meditation solve our everyday problems? Is there life after death? Can drugs help us achieve self-realization? During a visit to South Africa, Srila Prabhupada answers these and other questions for interviewer Bill Fell of the Durban Natal Mercury. Okay. So who is gonna be Srila Prabhupada? Udit Prabhu, he will become Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, Guruji.
And then who else? Isha Prabhu will be Mr. Fall.
Okay, Guruji.
Okay, Isha Prabhu. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada. Krishna is a name for God, which means all attractive. Unless one is all attractive, he cannot be God. So Krishna consciousness means God consciousness. All of us are small particles of God, equal in quality with him. Our position as living entities is like that of a small particle of a gold in relation to a large quantity of gold. Yes, issue proof.
उसी टोन में बात कीजिए आप लोग, जिस टोन में सर रिपोर्टर है प्रपात बोल रहे हो, तो मजा आएगा.
Are we something like spark in a fire?
Yes, both the fire and the spark are fire, but one is big and other is very small. Unlike the relationship between the spark and the fire, however, our relationship with God is eternal. Although at the present moment we have forgotten that our relationship due to contact with the material energy. We are facing so many problems only because of this forgetfulness. If we can revive our original God consciousness, then we shall become happy. This is the sum and substance of Krishna consciousness. It is the best process by which to revive our original God consciousness. There are different processes of self-realization. But in the present days of Kali, people are very fallen and they require the simple process of Krishna consciousness. Now they are thinking that so-called material advancement is a solution to their problems. But this is not a fact. The real solution is to get out of the material condition entirely by becoming Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious. Because God is eternal, we are also eternal, but in the material condition we are thinking, I am this body, and therefore we must repeatedly change from body to body. This is due to ignorance. Actually, we are not our bodies, but spiritual sparks, part and parcels of God.
then the body is just like a wheel for the soul.
प्रभु जी पार्ट एंड पार्सल्स ऑफ द गॉड का मतलब क्या होता है प्रभु जी एग्जैक्ट?
पार्ट एंड पार्सल का मतलब
यस प्रभु जी, बहुत ज्यादा
जैसे समुद्र में ड्रॉप हो गई, ड्रॉप इज पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ होल ओशियन, पार्ट भी है उसका और पार्सल भी है। नहीं,
पार्सल मतलब क्या होता है प्रभु जी?
पार्सल तो उसको बोलते हैं वैसे
जो आता है।
जो मैसेज कैरी करते हैं,
Yes, प्रभु जी।
तो वो इनका मैसेज ही कैरी कर रहे हैं वैसे तो।
हाँ वही है।
एक्चुअली हम लोगों के अंदर भी तो बहुत सारी सोल होती है ना।
हम्म
प्राइमरी जो लीडरिंग सोल है वो तो हमारी हो गई है ना, जीवात्मा। पर फिर उसके अंदर बहुत सारी और सोल्स भी होंगी, क्योंकि सोचो छोटे छोटे जीवाणु भी तो हमारे अंदर होते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं उसे इंग्लिश में,
माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स।
हाँ माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म, और ये जितने भी लिविंग, बाकी तो उनकी भी तो सोल होती है ना, समझ रहे? पर ड्राइविंग सोल बोलते हैं वो अपनी होती है, जो हमारी जो सोल होगी वो ड्राइविंग सोल होगी। तो शायद उसके लिए बोल रहे हैं कि पूरा पार्सल भी है और पार्ट भी है भगवान का। That might be one reason.
मतलब अगर कोई आदमी जा रहा है तो हम ये कह सकते हैं पार्सल जा रहा है।
हाँ वो तो है ही, सोल पार्सल का है। जैसे जैसे काफी सारे पास टाइम में हम देखते हैं, कई बार कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन लगता है, जैसे व्हाट वाज द नेम ऑफ दैट एलिफेंट, गजराज जो थे,
गजेंद्र।
गजेंद्र ना।
Yes,
तो
प्रभु।
गजेंद्र के ना 2-3 पास टाइम है। एक में तो किसी में राजा बताते हैं कि तुम ऐसे राजा हाथी बन जाओगे, फिर उसमें कुछ और है कि तुम हाथी बनोगे, फिर उसमें कुछ और है, ऐसे करके 2-3 पास टाइम में तो कई बार कंफ्यूजन आता है भाई कौन सा वाली सही है। अरे वो तीनों ही सही हैं, तीनों को एक ही राजा बनने के, एक ही गजेंद्र बनने के लिए बोला गया है, बट उस बॉडी के अंदर सब आ गई है, तो ऐसा है। वो पार्सल बहुत सारे सोल्स का मिलके बन गया है, बट
Okay.
प्राइमरी वो मानी जाती है। फिर कुछ इसमें कथा बच्चे ये बोलते थे कि काल का भेद भी रहता है, किसी काल में कुछ हुआ, किसी में कुछ हुआ, वो एक हो सकता है।
ओके प्रभु जी। तो प्रभु जी भी 8:28 हो गए हैं, तो कंटिन्यू करना है फिर?
नहीं, रोकते हैं फिर इसको।
ओके प्रभु जी।
Unless someone wants to discuss anything, we can discuss.
If anything, anyone wants to add anything, please. ओके प्रभु जी, कंक्लूड करें फिर? ओके। वंचा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुएव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग एवरीवन। हरे कृष्णा।